Chosen one, America was built for people like you, not the loudest in the room, not the ones who fit easily into the system, but the restless ones who carry a vision too big for the space they were born into. This land was shaped by risk-takers, by people who felt out of place somewhere else and refused to shrink. And maybe you felt that same friction your whole life. Like you don't quite belong in the small thinking around you. Like something in you keeps whispering, "There's more." That whisper isn't random. It never was. Stay with me until the very end, because this isn't just another message you scroll past. If something in you feels stirred right now, don't ignore it. In the comments, write your warmest wish, the one you don't usually say out loud, and then seal it with amen. Not as superstition, not as performance, but as alignment. Words carry weight, intention shifts energy. And when you declare something with faith instead of fear, the atmosphere around you responds. There is a season where seeds break open. There is a moment when what you've held quietly begins to move. You're entering that kind of moment now. A higher income season. Notice it. America wasn't just built with bricks and steel. It was built on an idea, an unfinished idea, a risky idea, that someone could arrive with nothing and still carry everything inside them. That destiny doesn't ask for permission from your past. That reinvention is not betrayal, it's evolution. You've always felt like you were preparing for something bigger than your current surroundings. Maybe you tried to ignore it. Maybe you told yourself to be practical, safe, realistic. But deep down, you've never been wired for ordinary survival. You think in expansions, even when your bank account didn't match it, even when your environment tried to compress you. There's a reason so many breakthroughs in this country came from outsiders, immigrants, dreamers, people who were underestimated. The system often resists visionaries at first. It calls them unrealistic, naive, too intense. But eventually, the same system reshapes itself around the ones who refuse to dim down. You feel that resistance sometimes, don't you? Like the air gets heavier when you start thinking bigger, like people subtly change when you speak about growth. That tension isn't proof you're wrong. It's proof you're stretching beyond what's familiar. America is a mirror. It magnifies whatever you bring to it. If you bring fear, it will overwhelm you with noise. If you bring hunger, it will test you. If you bring vision, real vision, it will eventually open doors that look impossible from the outside. You're not crazy for feeling like money reacts differently around you. Like opportunity circles back to you in strange ways. Like even your failures feel temporary, almost instructional. That's not delusion. That's pattern recognition. You've been trained by pressure. And this higher income season, it's not just about numbers. It's about capacity. Your capacity has expanded, quietly, through disappointments, through being overlooked, through carrying responsibility when no one applauded you for it. Most people want money without expansion. They want results without transformation. But you've been transformed. That's why the next level won't crush you. It will fit. There's something about this land, about its constant reinvention, that aligns with your inner wiring. Reinvention is in your blood. Even if you never left your hometown, even if you never crossed an ocean, you've crossed internal borders most people don't even see. Think about it. Every time you refused to settle, every time you felt uncomfortable with average conversations, every time you sensed there was more available than what was being shown to you, that wasn't arrogance, that was awareness. A higher income season doesn't arrive with fireworks. It arrives with subtle shifts. A new idea that won't leave you alone. A conversation that feels different. An opportunity that looks small at first but carries unusual weight. Notice these things. Most people miss their season because it doesn't look dramatic enough. You've been conditioned to think wealth is loud, flashy, obvious. But real wealth often begins quietly, in focus, in discipline, in a decision that no one else sees. America rewards clarity, not perfection, clarity. And lately you've been getting clearer about what you won't tolerate, about who you won't become, about how you actually want to live. That clarity is expensive. It costs comfort. It costs old identities, but it pays dividends later. You were never meant to blend in completely. That discomfort you've carried, that subtle sense of being ahead of your time, is part of the blueprint. People like you don't just consume opportunity. You reshape it. But let me be honest. There will be moments where this expansion feels lonely, where you question whether the vision is too big, where you wonder if you misunderstood the signs. That's normal. Growth has a way of isolating you before it elevates you. Remember this: the same soil that grows giants also produces storms. You can't ask for scale without weather, and you've survived enough weather already to know you're not fragile. You don't need to chase validation anymore. That phase is ending. What's beginning is alignment. And alignment changes income. It changes access. It changes who sees you and who can no longer ignore you. Some doors won't open for you. They weren't designed for your size. Stop knocking on them. Instead, pay attention to what's opening naturally, what feels heavy but right, what requires courage but not self-betrayal. This country was shaped by people who bet on themselves before they had proof. That's the uncomfortable truth. Proof usually comes after commitment, and you're closer to commitment than you think. You've already outgrown your previous ceiling. That's why the old goals don't excite you the same way. That's why certain environments feel suffocating now. You're not ungrateful. You're evolving. Higher income isn't just about earning more. It's about tolerating more responsibility, handling more visibility, managing more influence. Are you ready for that? Don't answer quickly. Feel it. Because once it shifts, it won't shrink back. You were built for expansion. And this land, flawed, complicated, intense, was built to test and refine people exactly like you. People who don't settle for surface-level living. People who feel destiny like a quiet pressure behind their ribs. You're not late. You're not behind. You're not disqualified because of past mistakes. Reinvention is written into the architecture of this place, and it's written into you. The higher income season isn't luck. It's alignment meeting preparation. And preparation, you've been doing that for years, quietly, without applause. Stay steady. Stay observant. Notice what's shifting. Notice who starts treating you differently. Notice what ideas refuse to leave your mind. This is not random. It's unfolding, and you're ready for it. Even if your voice shakes a little when you admit that. That's okay. Growth always feels slightly unfamiliar before it feels natural. Keep going. You know what's strange? The moment you start accepting that you were built for more, life doesn't suddenly get easier. It gets sharper, clearer. Like someone adjusted the lens. You begin to see the patterns you couldn't see before, the habits that kept you small, the conversations that drained you, the ways you used to shrink just to make other people comfortable. And once you see it, you can't unsee it. That's part of entering a higher income season. Not just financial income, personal income, energetic income, the return on your awareness. Because awareness changes decisions, and decisions change direction, and direction, over time, changes everything. America rewards direction. It doesn't always reward talent immediately. It doesn't always reward fairness, but it rewards persistence in a chosen direction. The ones who decide, quietly, this is who I'm becoming, and then act like it before the evidence shows up. Those are the ones who eventually shift levels. You've been in training longer than you realize. Every delay, every closed door, every time you had to figure things out without guidance. That wasn't punishment. That was conditioning. Conditioning for scale. Because scale exposes weaknesses, and you've been strengthening yours in private. That's why when opportunity comes this time, it won't scare you the way it might have 5 years ago. You've developed emotional muscle. You don't react the same way anymore. You observe more. You speak less. You calculate differently. There's a steadiness forming in you, and steadiness attracts resources. People trust steadiness. Investors trust steadiness. Partners trust steadiness. Even the universe, if you want to call it that, responds to consistency more than desperation. You used to feel urgency, like panic. Now you feel urgency, like focus. That shift alone changes your income ceiling. Let's talk honestly for a second. You've probably had moments where money slipped through your hands, where you earned, but it didn't stay, where you started something, but didn't sustain it. And maybe part of you questioned whether abundance was really meant for you. But seasons change. A farmer doesn't curse the soil in winter. He understands timing, preparation, patience. You were in a preparation season, learning how not to sabotage your own growth, learning how to say no, learning how to wait. Waiting is expensive. It costs ego. It costs comparison. It costs pride, but it builds endurance. And endurance is what holds wealth when it finally arrives. To stretch them, they retreat. They go to stretch them, they retreat. They go back to what's familiar because unfamiliar growth feels unsafe. You didn't retreat. Even when you doubted yourself, even when you felt tired, you kept thinking, planning, adjusting. There was always a quiet voice inside you that refused to give up entirely. That voice is not random. That voice is blueprint. You were designed to outgrow your starting point. America thrives on reinvention because reinvention is power, and you are in the middle of one right now, whether you fully acknowledged it or not. The old version of you, the one who accepted less, tolerated more nonsense, played smaller, is fading, not dramatically, gradually, like a season shifting without asking for attention. And this higher income season, it's going to require you to release certain identities. The struggling one, the misunderstood one, the almost there version of you. You can't carry all of that into expansion. There's a new self forming, one who negotiates differently, one who doesn't over-explain their worth, one who doesn't apologize for ambition. You don't need to become arrogant. You just need to become certain. Certainty changes posture. Posture changes presence. Presence changes access. And access changes income. It's all connected. You might notice small confirmations lately. A random opportunity. An idea that clicks. Someone mentioning your name in a room you're not in. These aren't coincidences. They're indicators. Subtle ones, but real. Don't dismiss small beginnings. Some of the biggest shifts in this country started in garages, in apartments, in moments where someone decided to bet on themselves quietly before anyone else believed. You don't need the whole staircase right now. You need the next step, and you already know what that step is. It's the phone call you've been delaying, the skill you've been meaning to sharpen, the environment you know you've outgrown. You can feel it. That slight tension when you stay in places you've mentally surpassed. That tension is guidance. Let it guide you, because here's the truth. Income follows identity, not the other way around. When you upgrade how you see yourself, when you genuinely begin to believe that you're built for expansion, your decisions shift automatically. You stop chasing crumbs. You start positioning for contracts, for equity, for ownership. Ownership is a different frequency. Employees trade time. Owners build systems. Investors think in decades. You've been slowly moving from survival thinking to ownership thinking, even if your circumstances haven't fully caught up yet. And that lag, that space between identity and visible results, can feel frustrating. But it's temporary. Stay steady. You don't need hype right now. You need discipline. Quiet discipline. The kind that compounds. Every focused hour, every uncomfortable conversation, every boundary you set, it's stacking. And one day, not dramatically, not with fireworks, you'll look back and realize the shift already happened. You'll notice your income doesn't fluctuate with your emotions anymore. You'll notice you choose partnerships instead of accepting them. You'll notice you're thinking long-term without forcing it. That's the sign. This is not about becoming someone else. It's about removing the layers that were never truly you. The doubt, the comparison, the smallness, strip them away. You were built for scale, and scale doesn't scream. It expands quietly, then suddenly everyone calls it overnight success. Let them. You'll know the truth. You'll know how many nights you questioned yourself, how many mornings you got up anyway, how many times you adjusted instead of quitting. That's what this season is honoring. Not luck. Preparation meeting opportunity. And you're closer than you think. There comes a moment when you stop asking if it's really happening, and you start realizing it already has. Not in some loud, dramatic way, not with a headline or a spotlight, but internally, quietly, the shift has already begun. You don't think the same way you used to. You don't panic the same way you used to. You don't chase the same things. That's not accidental. That's elevation. America was never just about geography. It was about expansion of possibility, an idea that a person could redefine themselves, that they could move from one economic level to another, not because someone granted permission, but because they decided to evolve. You've been evolving, slowly at first, almost invisibly, but now it's undeniable. Even you can feel it. The old fears don't hit as hard. The old doubts don't linger as long. You recover faster. You see through distractions quicker. You sense opportunity more clearly. That's maturity. That's refinement. That's readiness. A higher income season doesn't mean you suddenly win the lottery. It means your internal structure can now support expansion. Your mind can manage more. Your emotions can stabilize under pressure. Your discipline can outlast temporary discomfort. That's wealth capacity, and you have it now in ways you didn't before. Think back. There was a version of you who would have self-sabotaged this level. Who would have doubted too loudly? Who would have talked themselves out of stepping forward? But that version is fading. You don't beg for access anymore. You position for it. You don't need applause to move. You move because you've decided. There's a steadiness in you now that can't be shaken by every external shift. And that steadiness is magnetic. It pulls in higher-level conversations, different rooms, unexpected openings, and yes, there will still be resistance. Expansion always triggers resistance, but it doesn't intimidate you like it once did. You've learned that resistance is often confirmation. If it stretches you, it's probably aligned. This country was built on risk, on discomfort, on people who stepped into uncertainty and created structure out of it. That same current runs through you, that instinct to move forward even when the map isn't fully visible. You don't need the whole blueprint. You just need trust. And here's something deeper. You've started trusting yourself. That's the real breakthrough. Not the money, not the opportunity, the trust. When you trust your instincts, you make sharper decisions. When you trust your growth, you stop clinging to outdated identities. When you trust your timing, you don't rush what's still forming. You've been forming, under pressure, under doubt, under expectations that weren't even yours. But pressure makes clarity, and clarity is expensive. You're not the same person who first heard the whisper of expansion. You're stronger now, more measured, less reactive, more intentional. You don't talk about your plans as much. You execute them. You don't fantasize about wealth. You prepare for it. That's different, very different. There's a calm confidence settling into you. Not loud, not performative, just steady. Like you finally understand that your trajectory doesn't need outside validation. It only needs consistency. This is what entering a higher income season actually feels like. It's not fireworks. It's focus. It's responsibility. It's alignment. You notice small advantages now. You spot inefficiencies. You see where you're undervaluing yourself, and you correct it. Quietly. That's power, And power handled with discipline becomes influence. You're not chasing the American dream the way people talk about it on the surface. You're redefining it internally. You're building something that reflects who you've become, not who you were told to be. And that's why it will last. Because it's rooted in self-awareness. You've outgrown comparison. You've outgrown reacting to every distraction. You've outgrown shrinking to keep peace. Now you build. Strategically, patiently, intentionally. You don't need to announce it. You don't need to prove it. You just need to continue. That's the final realization. The season doesn't require hype. It requires endurance. It requires you to wake up tomorrow and make the same disciplined choice you made today, to protect your focus, to honor your growth, to treat your vision as real, because it is. America was built for reinvention, and you were built for expansion. That combination is not small, so don't play small. Stand in the new posture forming inside you. Let it feel unfamiliar at first. Let it stretch you. Let it demand more maturity. You can handle it. You've already proven that by surviving the seasons that tried to break you. Now, you enter the one that builds you. Stay steady, stay focused, and remember, this shift isn't coming, it's here.